Harold Osmer, West Hills Wood, the obligatory table saw sled video. Everybody and their cousin who does YouTube videos regarding wood shops, it seems to believe they need to make a table saw crosscut sled video. Hey, I got a piece of plywood. It's about that big. It's, I measured it out to where I need to be. The key part on these things, though, is the runners. You need to make them fit your runners. Mine happened to be hard maple. I had that laying around, so I got a couple of long pieces. I kept trimming them and sanding them and making sure they would slide in my grooves. I then drilled them and countersunk them, applied a little bit of glue, and set my rip fence up to 12 inches where I could set down on this. I moved the saw and the runners a little bit beyond the edge, clamped them, and then ran screws up through there. I did it on the opposite side as well. Now, there's a ton of different ways of doing this. Guys use super glue, and they put washers and measurements, and you go ahead and do whatever you want. That's how I did mine. It worked out great. All right, so now you got your flat part, and you got your runners. And now you need a control piece on the far end, and a control piece which is actually your fence, which is critical, that has to be near you. So you need, well, in this case, 4 pieces. I'm running the rest of my 3/4 inch plywood through this, and I'm going to laminate these two together. For some reason, I decided that the far away piece didn't matter as much, so I made those at 4 inches, and I made the ones near me at 5 inches. It may or may not make a difference. I don't know. What does make a difference is they have to be straight. They have to be flat. And there's some guy on the internet, you're looking at videos now. So, I went ahead and looked at them, and they showed that you glue these up, you laminate these, and you attach them, you clamp them to a level, which is straight and flat. And that's what I did. So when my pieces got glued together, I can trust, because at some point you really need to trust. And so I'm going to trust that my level is indeed flat. So now my glue up is flat. Oh, one side's got run out and one side does not. So let's take the side that does not and make it flat. Make it really flat. There's another way you can do this where you leave a little bit of extra material on one piece that remains clean from any glue squeeze out that you can run against your table saw fence, and that will get you one flat surface, which is really what you're looking for. It's just one flat surface. And that's okay. I decided to make one flat surface on both my far side and my near side. And don't ever use a sander without dust collection. That stuff will kill you. All right? Hey, we already know that. Look at that. That came out nice.
Wait, what? You don't have a 36-inch belt sander? Thought everybody did.
So we take our flat side, run it against our fence, make the top and bottom parallel. In the end, it doesn't matter. You only need one side flat. I mean, guys get real serious about this. I'm not exactly sure why. Woodworking is not metalworking. You don't need thousandths of an inch over dozens of feet. It doesn't matter. But we do what we do because we obsess over it, and that's part of who we are. So there you go. Now I got 2 parallel sides. I decided to round off the corners because that's part of what I'm going to be touching all the time. Let's round it off. Use a bandsaw. Always good to have a bandsaw. And then whip out the router and a 1/4 inch roundover bit. You want to give room enough for dust collection so it doesn't build up. Not so much collection, but you don't want it to build up against your fence when you're pushing pieces through. Here's another way to use your tools. Here's the fence. The rip fence on my table saw happens to be about the same height as my far end fence on the crosscut sled. Run some good long screws in there. Run your blade up. Now, I neglected to shoot the video of that. Geez, you can find that anywhere, I'm sure. I do happen to have a 1/8 inch piece of wood, and you put your carpenter square in there. You put one screw in. Look at William Ing, NG, William Ing. If you haven't seen him, you're not really looking for crosscut sled stuff, because that's the ultimate guy with the 5-cut crosscut sled alignment system. And no matter how good you do on this, your runners are going to stick a little. That's what a card scraper is for. You put your thing in there, you run it back and forth. Wherever it's dark, you run your card scraper against it. Pretty soon you'll slide. The big thing is you don't want left-right motion on it, and you want it to slide easy enough. Now, through experience, I know that I cut a lot of 24-inch pieces, so I wanted to make sure mine was over 24 inches, and that worked out well. So I can cross-cut a 24-inch piece on mine. If it's good stuff, it's great. It's a simple application. You rub it on, you're pretty much done, and it gives me a little bit of protection on there. I cut a hole in the sled, and there you go. I decided in my stuff that I needed more room to the left than to the right, so I built it that way. And it hangs on the wall, and that's where most tools stay until you need them, and then you're awfully glad you have them. As Harold Osmer, West Hills Wood, be sure to like this and subscribe to this, and send beer.